This episode of the Escape Pod, we delve into the deeply disturbing case of Theresa Knorr, a mother whose cruelty and paranoia turned her children into both victims and involuntary participants in her heinous crimes. This is a story of how a decades-long reign of terror was finally brought to light, starting with a frightening discovery on a quiet California highway.
If ever your life could be a true crime podcast episode, then this podcast is for you. We're about to embark on a roller coaster of emotions, insights, survival, and stories about escape. So buckle up and let the journey begin.
Oof. Okay.
Oof.
On a highway, huh?
On a highway.
All right. Well,
Get your motor running.
head out on the highway.
This is
Looking
not the
for
kind of adventure
adventure.
you're going to want, though. I promise you, this is not the kind of adventure you're going to want. So welcome back to the Escape Pod, everybody. I'm Charity.
And I'm KB.
And this is just a podcast where we talk about, like, trauma and the worst of humanity. And today is no different, so buckle up for a bummer.
Buckle up for a bummer of an episode.
Yeah.
Oh, or a shocker.
But who knows? We might go into burrito mode again.
We never know. We never know where it's going to go.
What are you escaping this week, my friend?
Okay, so this one's kind of goofy. And you know how much I love Christmas.
Oh, yes.
I am escaping the guilt of, like, I'm just not in it yet. I'm not in it yet. Like, part of me is like, how is it not still the first week of November?
I know.
And I would like someone to move Thanksgiving up a week.
Thank you.
I think it needs to be moved up a week.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if we can get on that, I don't know who's making these decisions, but
I will quit my job immediately, and I will go lobby
thank you.
the federal government for that.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Okay.
Okay. I need a new gig anyway.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for helping.
You're welcome.
What are you escaping?
Well, it's a toss-up. I think right now I'm escaping phentermine.
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 Tell me more.
It is a medication, and it is like appetite control kind of thing. So I'd been...
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Because I am super, super stressed out, and I stress eat. And I just lost all this weight, like 40 pounds. I don't want to put it back on. So, and then this year...
Yeah. This year's been a doozy.
We need a new word. Is there even a word? Doozy is not covering it.
No.
Are you ready to re-enter the workforce or find a career that actually fits? Or maybe you're an employer, tired of noisy platforms that miss the mark? Try Focus, a smarter hiring tool that helps you cut through the noise and focus on what matters. Visit focus.work today. That's FOQUS.WORK.
You want to hear about this highway?
I guess. I
California
mean, I
highway?
don't want to, but tell me anyway.
Well, okay, so this one really hit a nerve because, A, the antagonist in this story has the same name as my mother. Spelled the same exact way. Theresa. And there are some interesting similarities. While my mother is not a serial criminal or physically abusive or any of those things, the way this woman singled out her daughters and could only have one favorite child and all these different things, like, it just, it's like, holy shit. If my mother had had like a couple more aces, would this have been the result? I don't know. But so anyway, it came on my radar years and years ago. I've never heard it covered on a podcast.
Yeah.
And it just hit me. And it hit me because of the severe child abuse cases are always, always, always tragic and hard. And, you know, we were talking off air, like we've covered a lot lately on motherhood. You know, we had Valen Webb on our podcast about losing a pregnancy and, you know, stillbirth and things like that. And we've covered desperately wanting children and like, what was that called? Fetal abductions or whatever. So this is really the opposite of motherhood and wanting children and having that maternal instinct. Is just, it's absolutely the opposite. And some people online theorize that this one involves that she's super jealous of her daughters. Like, it's theory. It tracks, in my opinion. But either way, none of this mother's actions are excusable by any stretch. So We begin on that morning of July 17th, 1984. I didn't do that on purpose.
Oh,
Last
crazy.
story was
Yeah,
83. So this also happened in my lifetime, your lifetime. You were 3.
Yeah.
I was 11. Woo! Okay. 45-year-old Maybelle Harrison was driving on California Highway 89. She notices a bright light like blaring in the woods off the highway. So kind of concerned about a fire, she stops and she starts going down this rocky slope to investigate. But this horrible stench hits her, and she's like, "Ooh, peace out!" And she goes and gets help. So she flags.
Isn't it funny how smells like that?
Yeah.
Very, very few times in my life have I smelled things such horrific. But there have been a couple of times where it's like, I'm not going to continue smelling
I'm
this.
super sensitive to smells.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
So she GTFOs. She flags down a guy by the name of Robert Eden, and he had a fire extinguisher in his truck. So he douses the flames, and once the smoke clears, they discover a charred human corpse. Tahoe City detectives Russell Potts and Larry Adams arrive, followed by criminologist Michael Saggs and Placer County Sheriff Donald Nunez. The Jane Doe was badly burned. The lower portion of her left leg was detached and lying nearby. The only unburned area on her whole body was the left side of her face. A forensic pathologist determined she was probably 18 to 22 years old, approximately 5'3", 115 pounds or so. There was a lot of evidence of abuse, including 2 puncture wounds on her back. And the cause of death was smoke inhalation.
Oh, no.
Yep, indicating she was alive when somebody set her on fire. And if that weren't bad enough, her body also showed signs of severe beatings. So at the scene of this burning, investigators cataloged over 30 items, including like a toothbrush, a pair of jeans, a bra, a bracelet, disposable diapers. And because of the diapers, authorities thought that maybe there was a missing infant involved in this situation. But despite sending fingerprints and teeth into proper authorities for identification, investigators had very little hope of identifying Jane Doe. No one had reported a missing girl, and so her body would remain unidentified for 9 years. We know now this victim was Susan Knorr. So to understand how we get here and how, all of this happened, we need to understand her mother, Theresa Knorr. So born in 1946, Theresa Jimmy Francine Cross Knorr was a severe attention seeker. She craved, narcissist, I'm just saying. And she craved both attention and financial security from men. She'd married 4 times. Theresa was nicknamed Jimmy after her father. She was the youngest of 2 daughters and was openly her mother Gay's favorite child. So Mama taught her well. Theresa grew up spoiled and selfish, craving constant praise and admiration. And her father, Jim, he became debilitated by Parkinson's disease.
Okay.
And so her mother had to go work and leave the home and all this stuff. And then her mom died suddenly of a heart attack in 1961, right in front of Theresa. And so if this is the woman who is you're the center of her universe,
right,
and now she's gone. And then because of the earning potential not being there, because he has Parkinson's and now mom is gone, they lose their home. So all their financial stability goes down the drain after Gay passes. And so her life is now in the context of being terrified of being destitute and homeless and all these things. And she's a very pretty girl, and so she used her looks and her sex appeal to quickly marry a young man. Cliff Sanders was the first victim, 16 years old. She was 16 years old.
Yeah.
So they get married quickly. They have a volatile relationship. There's mutual jealousy. There's heavy drinking. She was so domineering and controlling, and she would often accuse him of infidelity, which was projection because guess what she was doing all the time? He gets tired of it one day, punches her in the face, and then, which in this case... Okay, sorry. Y'all might agree with me by the end of this.
By the end of it, we'll agree. But at this point in time, anyway.
Oh, she's a peach. July of 1964, following an argument where Cliff threatened to leave her. She was pregnant at the time with, I don't remember which kid. He threatened to leave her because he knew he didn't think she was pregnant with his kid because
Right.
she'd been screwing around. She grabbed a hunting rifle and shot him in the back and killed him.
How is she not in jail for that?
Oh, just wait.
Okay.
Right? How is she not?
I mean,
She should have been locked up right now, and then none of this happened, and Maybelle would not have been
That's right.
traumatized on the side of a highway. Okay, so the autopsy showed no alcohol in Cliff's system. He wasn't drunk when he got shot, and there were no gunpowder burns, which meant he was shot at quite a distance. So this was not self-defense, as she claimed. But the petite, pregnant 18-year-old cut a sympathetic figure and was acquitted of murder, claiming self-defense. You don't look at a petite little pregnant woman and think, murderer,
yeah.
psychopath, right?
Right.
You just don't. So she was freed 2 months later.
That is nuts.
So during her relationship with Cliff, she had a son, Howard, and a daughter, Sheila. So now she's a single mom. It's just not going to work. So she quickly scopes out second husband. She marries a Marine, Bob Knorr, in 1966. She had 4 children with Bob: Susan Marlene, William Robert, Robert Wallace, and Theresa Marie Terry.
This is on top of the other two?
Yes.
All right.
Man, she's popping them out.
She's
Like
good at
literally every 15 months.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like an assembly belt. Anyway, Theresa showed clear favoritism toward her sons, but especially Howard, over her daughters. Openly admitted she planned to raise her children just as her mother raised her, favoring one over the other.
Oh,
I mean,
nice.
what? We don't need to do better. It's fine. So she was very possessive of her husband. She threatened to shoot him if he cheated, and he took it seriously because he knew she'd literally gotten away with murder before. But they end up divorcing due to her infidelity.
Okay.
So, following 2 more failed marriages, I'll spare you all the details.
Dodged a bullet there.
He literally dodged a bullet. Literally. 2 more failed marriages due to her control and manipulation tactics and accusations of infidelity while she's still screwing everybody in the neighborhood. Theresa moves her children into a house in Orangeville. And this is kind of where she begins. She's already not great at this motherhood thing, but now she really starts spiraling. So at this house, her mental health is going down the tubes. She becomes almost a recluse. She starts gaining weight. And remember, her sex appeal is her.
That's her thing.
That's her, the only, what do you call it, commodity or
Appeal,
whatever she has, right? She starts gaining weight. She starts spiraling into bizarre religious and occult obsessions. And the abuse within the home escalates dramatically, and she starts targeting her daughters. Sheila, but especially Susan. And the children, none of them were allowed to go outside at all. And Theresa twisted scripture to believe she was holy and without sin, viewing those she disliked as evil, of course, as you do.
Yeah.
I mean, we all do that, right? So she became paranoid. She believed people were spying on her, and she controlled her family's every movement. She prohibited people to come over to the house. She prohibited them to use the phone. She forbade them to share information about their home life and situation. So they were just completely getting cut off from the external world. And so to supplement her income, she worked as a healthcare aide, and she would pilfer and stockpile these medical items like medication and equipment and all kinds of things. And as she grew more violent and unpredictable, she would often beat her children for no reason at all. Or she'd imagine something that they had done that they hadn't actually done. She'd beat them with the, quote, Board of Education, which was a 3-foot board that was about 1.5 inches thick. And Theresa would make her other children hold their sibling down while she beat the living hell out of them. And it wasn't just beatings, though. She allegedly burned her children with cigarettes. She'd force them to do manual labor in hot weather and deprive them of sleep and water and all the things. And best of all, game time.
Oh, no.
She liked to throw knives at her children.
That's crazy.
Oh, we're not dealing with anyone who's hinged right now. She once locked little Terry in a chest freezer for allegedly telling people that Theresa didn't take care of her children. I don't know if it was even true. The worst of the abuse, though, like I said, was directed at her daughters, most likely due to her jealousy of them. She's not the pretty one anymore.
Right.
Her daughters are, and they're the center of attention. And so, again, hard relate. And one of her 3 daughters, Susan, was the first victim. She was very bright. She was very strong-willed. She was often challenging and would challenge her mother on these things. And, of course, that would just make this, crazy pants just super furious. she forced Susan and Sheila, the eldest two daughters, into sex work. And she imagined that somehow Susan, this is how crazy, we're talking over the top batshit. Somehow Susan, she was convinced Susan was a witch now who'd cast a spell on her to make her mother fat. And so in addition to beating her relentlessly, she would also force feed Susan to make her gain weight. So like massive pots of like macaroni and cheese made with lard, and she'd force her to eat it. And then when she could not physically ingest anymore and vomit, she'd have to eat that. Like just absolutely disgusting. And then there are differing versions of what happened next. So either Susan somehow ran away, GTFO'd, or she was arrested while doing sex work. But either way, she used that opportunity to tell authorities about the abuse and that her siblings, you know, hey, we're enduring all of this at the hands of our mother. So DHS gets involved. But these idiots question the other children with Theresa in the room.
That's dumb.
And there was no way they were going to spill.
No.
So they
closed otherwise they're going to go in the freezer or get beaten with a
Board of Education. So they gave her back. Forced Susan back with Theresa. And that's when things really escalated. So Theresa was so irate about Susan ratting on her that she handcuffed her under the dining room table. Some reports say a headboard. I think it's the dining room table, though, from just the things I'm putting together. That she gagged her. She continued to beat her, continued to force feed her. She even had her sons participate in beating Susan. This went on for about 2 years. This girl's existence involved daily beatings, handcuffed to the underneath side of a table. In 1983, during an angry tirade where Theresa was threatening the children with a small handgun, the gun went off and it hit Susan in the chest. Accounts here differ a little too. Most say it was Theresa who was wielding the gun when it went off. Others say that she'd given the gun to young little Terry, and it was Terry who accidentally fired the weapon. But regardless, remember all those medical supplies she'd hoarded? Well, she put Susan in the bathtub, handcuffed her to the freaking handle in the bathtub, and then nursed her daughter. I can't say back to health, but like helped her recover her, just to get her healthy enough to go back under the table, essentially. But the bullet is still lodged near her back, and back under the table she goes. So she starts facing financial trouble. Theresa forces them back into sex work outside like car lots, and I guess this was a hot spot for, and
Is that where like what did they call it? A lot lizard?
Maybe.
Remember the term lot lizard?
I think those are, what do you call them? Rest stops?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gross.
Maybe. So 1984, Susan's will was broken and she had to escape. So she actually convinces Theresa to let her leave for Alaska, but she's going to go and do sex work up there because those guys are really lonely, right? Offering to send money home. And so Theresa agreed, but with one little teeny tiny caveat. So the stipulation of her letting Susan go was that she had to allow them to extract the bullet before she left because she couldn't have evidence of that. Susan was so desperate she agreed.
She's like, okay, fine.
So Theresa gave her daughter Malice, which is an antipsychotic, and made her drink whiskey until she passed out. And then she ordered her 15-year-old son, Robert, to cut into her sister's back with an X-Acto knife and retrieve the bullet, which Theresa then flushed down the toilet. Robert had to cut through muscle and all the stuff, and the operation was really difficult. Obviously, they don't have the technical
how are they
to stitch her up, but
even cleaning up the blood that's coming? I mean, my goodness.
Anyway, you're gonna get, So she wakes up hours later. She's in pain. She becomes feverish.
Of course.
She hallucinates. She can't keep food down. Theresa accuses her of faking it, of course. Leaves her on the kitchen floor. She loses consciousness. She loses control of her bladder. That's where the diapers come in that they found at the scene. They just put diapers on her. Her body grew septic. Shock. And rather than seeing it as the sign of infection it was, do you want to guess what her batshit mother thought it was? She's septic and jaundiced.
Yeah. And what did her mother think it was?
Possessed by a demon, obviously.
Oh, right. I was like, too much macaroni and cheese is... I'm so sorry. This is why I don't want to answer because I'm like, she's yellow. the macaroni and cheese.
Man. Wow. All right. That was a great guess, though. No, a demon, Cara Beth.
This woman.
But the only way to get rid of a demon is...
Oh. You could cast him out, or you could evidently take him into the woods, huh?
Yeah.
Off the highway and...
No, fire. It's her. Like, I don't know where she learned her exorcism skills, but fire and demons, like...
Maybe
those
she was
that's
practicing
like 2 peas in a
witchcraft.
pod, right? She was. So anyway, that evening, Theresa packs up Susan's belongings. They duct tape this poor girl's mouth. They hogtie her. And Theresa orders her sons, William and Robert, to help unload the now unconscious Susan into the car. They drive over an hour toward Lake Tahoe. Near Squaw Creek, she instructs the boys to drag Susan and all her stuff to the creek bank. She douses them with gasoline, hands the boys matches, and says, "Light her up." And then they run. Autopsy 9 years later reveals the horrific truth. Jane Doe, Susan, was alive when she was set on fire. She died of smoke inhalation. They found her mouth and wrists had been taped shut, like with duct tape. So less than a year after her horrific murder, Theresa's rage found a new tragic target, because these people always have to have one.
Right.
And so now Sheila became the target, which was her oldest daughter. So Sheila had been previously compliant because she didn't want what was happening to her sister to happen to her, but she ended up being subjected to the same abuse Susan endured. She began force-feeding Sheila. She once shoved a spoon into Sheila's mouth so hard it chipped her 2 front teeth. So she accused Sheila of giving her a venereal disease by the toilet seat. So you have your daughter do sex work. Obviously, you're not catching a venereal disease from the toilet seat. But, and how many guys have you banged at this point? Like,
Yeah.
you're probably...
Well, and she's probably participating in this stuff too, I'm assuming. Anytime she can. You don't think so?
Not sex work. No, she just wanted to be adored. So she would just, use her sex appeal. And then now at this point, she's, gained the weight, doesn't have it anymore. So she's taking it out on her daughters. And so Sheila had fallen in love with this guy and planned to run off. Mm-hmm. And when Theresa figured this out, she went into a rage. She beat Sheila up. She tied her up. And then in June of 1985, Theresa had her sons force Sheila into a small linen closet. She was locked inside there. She screamed. She begged for help. Theresa would just turn the volume of the TV up to drown her out. And then the children could not remember for certain how long Sheila was confined. In fact, when I was looking at the reporting on this, it ranges from a few days to 2 weeks, but the apartment soon becomes permeated with a, quote, sickly sweet scent like rotting meat.
Ew, 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 ew.
William opens the closet at his mother's request, and he finds his sister dead, half naked, hogtied, some of her decomposing flesh stuck to the floor. The boys place the body in a large cardboard-like popcorn bucket box. One of the boys worked at a movie theater, and they drove with Theresa, so this decomposing corpse, to Lake Tahoe. They dumped her at a deserted campground. She was found, designated Jane Doe. She likely died from dehydration and starvation. The only identifying traits on her corpse were those 2 chipped front teeth. So after Sheila's murder, Theresa and her youngest daughter, Terry, I actually have a cousin named Theresa Marie. Anyway, hi. Continues living in the apartment until September of 1986, and then Theresa starts becoming paranoid about the lingering smell. So she orders poor Terry to clean up the site of her sister's body decomp. And then also after all of that, decides, never mind, let's just GTFO, and orders her to set the apartment on fire.
Oh, my goodness.
So the fire was quickly put out, but Theresa fled, and she blamed the fire on her son, Howard. Not her favorite son, the other son.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So Terry runs away from home after this because she's like, I'm next. Clearly I'm next. Girls don't have a good fate in this family. So she uses her sister Sheila's ID to attempt to live independently. And living on the streets, she's like battling with mental health issues and addiction. She frequently finds herself on the wrong side of the law. Every time she's arrested, she'd tell police about the horror show that was her life growing up. And, she tried to tell him her mom's a monster, tortured us, all the things, killed 2 of my sisters, but no one, not even her therapist, believed her.
Oh.
So Terry eventually meets a man named Michael Groves, and he encourages her to seek help for her trauma. Mm-hmm. And so now we're in 1990. She forwards a statement to the Sacramento Police Homicide Division. This is where you need to look. These are the, whatever. Nothing happens. 1993 rolls around. America's Most Wanted covers these two Jane Does. She sees the show. She calls them and says, those unidentified murder victims, I think they're my sisters. And then they're able to piece. That's how it,
Right.
why
That's
it took
crazy.
no one would believe her. And so this detective from Placer County Sheriff's Department, John Fitzgerald, he was connected to Terry. She tells him everything. And so now we're November of 93. William is now arrested. He's 26. Theresa was found in Salt Lake City using her maiden name Cross. She's working as a caretaker.
Oh,
They believe she...
that's rich.
Oh, right. They believe she was planning to flee because she had either withdrawn from her own account or borrowed, depending on which accounts you read, borrowed $4,600 or so from a caretaker woman's son. She was arrested on these charges, including multiple murder and murder by torture. Robert Knorr Jr. was already in prison for an unrelated murder. Shock. Apples, trees, the thing. He agreed to testify against his mom. In exchange, his charges were reduced to accessory after the fact for Sheila's murder. So he served his sentence and he was released in 2013. Theresa Knorr pled guilty to 2 consecutive life sentences to avoid the death penalty. And William received probation and court-appointed therapy. So William described his mother as his torturer. He noted that when charged as an accomplice, the obvious answer for not coming forward earlier was, look at what happened to the people who did,
Right.
referencing Susan's death. And then after trying to contact Child Protective Services, 'cause she was trying to get help for the family, William was relieved that his mother would spend the rest of her life incarcerated,
Right.
and stated that he never saw any sign of remorse from her at all, ever. And today, William works. He has a family. He enjoys what he calls a normal life. Terry continued to share her story even after her mother's arrest. She appeared on numerous true crime TV shows until her death from heart failure in 2011 at 41 years old.
Oh.
This is just sad to me. Teresa's currently serving 2 consecutive life sentences at California Institution for Women. Her first parole hearing in 2019 was denied. Yes. She'll be eligible for parole in 27 when she'll be 81. So,
well,
that on that.
That is nuts that she was able to get away with all of that.
Yeah.
For that length of time, and how disturbing. I can't even imagine harming a hair on my children's head,
Right.
let alone.
Right.
And the thing is, it's like you said, even going all the way back to the beginning, where her first husband, and she's like blaming him for going out on her when she was going out on him. And I feel like the same thing with all the stuff that she was doing, how wicked and evil it is. And she's like, oh, Susan's a witch. Susan has demons. I'm like, lady,
You have
go look in the mirror.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah.
That is haunting. Ugh.
Mutta of the year.
That's somebody who is so just so focused on only herself that she has absolutely no regard for human life.
Right.
Clearly.
Right.
Because I don't see how you could treat your own,
No.
let alone, I mean,
Or to ask other
your other poor children to,
engage in this behavior.
well, and that's what I was thinking, like when you were telling me that, because, oftentimes when we hear these stories and there's children witnessing this, even if they're not like getting the physical abuse themselves, if they're witnessing in any capacity, I'm thinking,
traumatic.
what kind of trauma does that do to a person? Like, what do they grow up into?
Right. I mean, we've seen kids here who witness some pretty horrific domestic violence and their behavioral challenges and things. I mean, it's no surprise that, one of these boys ended up in prison for murder.
No,
right?
it's not.
Not at all. He was bred to do that.
Yeah.
Groomed literally from birth to become this.
Ugh. Well, I even think about children who are watching their parents fight. And I mean, have full-on arguments, screaming matches, and maybe they're not even in the room, but they just know that their parents are fighting and their parents fight a lot. Even in those instances, and I get it, people argue sometimes, right? But even in those instances, children are really traumatized by that. It's very upsetting. Like
all of it.
because they don't know how to compute it. They don't know how to understand. And they love both their parents, so they just want to see them get along. Yeah. Ugh. Anyway. Yuck. Good riddance to Theresa.
That's what we're escaping. All the Theresas. No, I'm kidding. Some of you are probably lovely Theresas.
Yeah, we know. There are lovely. This one, not so much.
Are you looking for an early morning boost or that midday pick-me-up? Check out the Homebrew Coffee Shop, a coffee shop with a cause on the One Heart campus. At Homebrew, you'll find hope for a home in every cup. It's home to delicious coffee, sweet treats, breakfast, and lunch items. It's a great place to meet friends or host small group meetings. Homebrew is located at 201 Kansas City Street in Rapid City. Open Monday through Friday from 6:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. We'll see you there.
I'm going to ask you first.
Are you?
What are you escaping to?
Now? What am I escaping to? Let me see. I wrote some things down because I know we're recording several today. My son's coming home in about a week.
Okay.
Yeah, so Mr. Miami heading home for Christmas break, and he'll be home for a month, and
that's going to be so
we'll
nice.
have so much fun, and he'll bring out the cello, and we'll like play these games with him, like, hey, can you do, this movie soundtrack or this theme song or this anything, and he'll just sit there, like, he's amazing.
He is amazing.
So
that's awesome.
It's super fun, and we play games, and
yeah,
we have these games we love to play. But now with having Tim's mom as our tag along, like the only game she can really play now where she can track is dice.
Okay.
She's great at that.
Yeah.
Other games where you have to, no. No.
Yeah.
So we'll end up doing stuff, and yeah.
Yeah. Well, good.
And maybe moving MIL into assisted living.
Wouldn't that be a Christmas wish?
It really would. Because wouldn't it be nice to just like go visit with her or take her for outings and not have to like go deal with, did you take your meds?
Yeah.
Did you put medicine on your leg? Oh, that was another fun one. You want to hear? Okay. We should just do a podcast about dementia because seriously, the content never ends. So she called a couple months ago. I fell and I have road rash on my leg, like rug burn on my leg.
Okay.
Really? Were you slide tackling the couch? Like, what were you doing? Because, she doesn't move. I mean, she's very physically capable. She's not, doesn't need any assistance. She's really in pretty good health physically. It's just her brain. Like, rug burn. Okay. And so we look at it. I'm like, this is not rug burn, but it was healing. It looked like it was on the downwards. So who knows how long she'd had it before she said anything. And so we're like, well, it looks like it's healing, so we'll just kind of keep an eye on it. A couple of weeks later, she calls. My leg's really bothering me. I think it's infected. Like, infected? Yeah, it's that rug burn. Okay, that's weird.
Yeah, that's weird.
So I could show you pictures.
I don't want to.
Oh, it's gross. And so I'm like, crap. So I get into her portal, make an appointment with her doc. I get her in there. And on the way there, the story was that she got it caught on the inside arm of her armchair. I'm like, so the inside arm of your armchair did that to your leg? You look like you're decomposing.
That's weird.
Like, I don't think that's a thing.
Yeah.
And so we get to the doctor, and it's good that she doesn't wear her hearing aids because then I can say things to the doctor at about this level, and she can't hear me. And I can say, okay, we've got multiple versions of this story of how she hurt her leg. I think it's this, dermatitis that she's had in the past.
Right.
And so doctor looks at it and is like, yeah, this is what this is. This is not from a fall.
Yeah.
Like, okay. But she just makes stuff up.
Well, because she's trying to, she knows that she's forgetting probably. Yeah. And so she's trying to come up with some type of story because she wants some type of an answer. She's like a kid. She's just trying to make it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. She's filling in the gaps, right? So anyway, the treatment was like bifold treatment. Is that a word?
I don't know.
Bifold, it's a word.
Bifold.
I can't. My brain just stopped. Okay, vacation cannot come soon enough. Okay, anyway, so like a two-pronged approach to treatment, But one of them included putting something, administering something to this leg like twice a day. And I just looked at the doctor and I'm like, I can't go over there 2 more times and make sure she puts this shit on. And then she just looks at me. She goes, home health nurse. I'm like, thank you, Jesus. Like, please help. And so, because she won't.
Yeah.
It's just one thing after another.
Yeah. It's nuts. It literally is like having a
But there's nothing to see.
4-year-old.
There's nothing wrong with her. Also, her hearing's perfect.
No.
Just ask her.
Well,
And you can say that. Shirley, how's your hearing? Excuse me? Pardon me? Pardon me? Oh, yeah, my hearing's perfect. Okay.
come again?
Yeah. So anyway, how about you?
I'm doing, so December's always busy. You know, the holidays are always busy for holiday programs and shopping. And so that's what I'm going to be doing. Escaping to those things. And hopefully that's also going to help me get in the holidays. But it's just more programs. And then I need to do some shopping.
I just thought of something
Sparkly things. Huh.
I'm going to be doing. Don't laugh at me. Well, I don't think you will because you're very creative and artistic. So I need some like mental health activities.
Yeah.
So they just came yesterday. I'm going to do this over the next week. You've seen the adult Legos?
Yeah.
That are like flower pots. And
Yeah.
So I got like 2 different kinds of, and I'm like, I can't wait to put Legos together.
Fun.
I haven't done that shit since
You're going to love it.
little.
Yeah.
So. And they're beautiful.
They are pretty.
My
Izzy
daughter
has some.
the coolest things all over her house.
Yeah.
Like a little typewriter and like a radio.
Izzy
and all
has
this
these.
stuff.
We get them and part of it is me because I'm like
Nostalgic.
Yeah, I'm like
Yeah.
you have to
Retro.
do this. I'm like
Yeah.
we have to get this because it's super cute and you have to put it in your room.
It's adorable.
Yeah, they are really cute.
Yeah. And Sierra's got
fun.
the little succulents all over her.
Yeah.
She's got the cutest. I always call it an antique house, historic house. This is what I'm talking about. My brain is just like,
That's not
maybe
compute.
dementia is contagious. I think it might be contagious
It's
because
not.
you're a product of like the people you hang around with.
You
the most.
are.
Oh my
But
god.
you don't have dementia. You have stress and all the things.
Okay.
All right.
Wrap
Thanks.
it up. Just ad lib.
Thank you. As
Thanks,
always, thank you
everybody.
for listening.
Help us grow, please.
yes,
I know we
do.
sound pathetic and
Please, just do it.
We're not doing it for us. We're doing it for a cause. Podcast for a cause. How many of those are there out there? I really don't know. I've never done the research, but this is an amazing cause. So please help us, help them.
Absolutely.
Become a patron. Give us a 5-star review. Help other people find us. Let's grow this thing. And if not, send in a message and say, hey, ladies don't think you have what it takes. And that's fine because that'll save me a hell of a lot of research time. I can go do something else.
That's right. We can do lots of things.
So anyway, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah. Until next time.
Stay resilient.
Absolutely. Keep laughing.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.